Hi, I'm John Lipp, CEO of FAAS, and welcome to Meet the Peeps, our new video series in which I get to introduce you to some incredible people who make our work possible. You know, access to vet care is really at a critical stage right now in our California and throughout the country. And for shelters and rescue groups as well as for individuals. And so that's why I'm so thrilled, literally thrilled, to introduce you to Dr. Katherine Mills, our medical director who joined us back in August of 2024. Welcome, Dr. Mills.
Thank you.
Glad
Happy to
have you.
be here.
So tell us about your work as a veterinarian and what made you want to come work for FAAS.
So shortly after I got out of vet school, maybe about a year afterwards, I moved to the Bay Area. And when I came up here, I got a job working at the East Bay SPCA over in Oakland. And that's where I really got into doing high volume spay neuter and shelter medicine. And since then, that has been the type of work that I've done. I still do a little bit of private practice here and there. Keeps you current on all the medications and everything that's going on in the industry. But that's how I sort of took that step into shelter medicine. In August, I made the transition from working at a very high volume municipal shelter in the Bay Area to working at FAAS. And what made FAAS so interesting to me and why I came here, not only the new spay neuter and medical services project that we have going on, but all the different programs that FAAS has for the community. The outreach programs to the underserved community, the support to help keep animals in owners' homes if they are not able to get behavior trainings, resources, a little bit of medical care, those types of things. They're just really on the cutting edge of where the industry is going, trying to keep people and pets together. And so that was just super exciting to me.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, trying to keep people and their pets together and those pets out of the shelter system.
Absolutely.
That's our goal.
That's the key.
Yeah. You mentioned the Animal Medical Services and Training campus,
Yes.
which will be opening up in a couple of months.
Yes.
And we'll be focused initially on spay-neuter services, both for shelters and rescue groups and the public.
Correct.
Can you talk about why the need for those services are so great right now?
So it's a convergence of a number of things. So for many years, the industry has recognized that there was a shortage of veterinarians, particularly as the veterinarians in the baby boomer generation were retiring. And vet schools were not keeping up with putting out enough veterinarians. Then we had the pandemic, where a lot of veterinarians that were still practicing, but maybe they were a little bit older, decided it was time to retire. So we've now got all these forces that have combined to lead us to having just a real shortage of veterinarians. And that's not just in California, though I do think we feel it rather acutely here in the Bay Area, but across the country. So anybody who has a pet is aware that the cost of veterinary care has gone up quite a bit, and it's often hard to get in to even get an appointment to see a veterinarian. So having our clinic where we can be focusing primarily on high volume spay neuter, and then other additional services as we're able, whether that's dentals or vaccine, maybe expanding our vaccine clinic to the public at a slightly lower cost. We're really hoping to be able to make things a little bit more affordable for people and their pets to keep their animals in their home.
Yeah, and pet overpopulation is a big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Breeding of animals, backyard breeding in particular, is just something that throughout the Bay Area tends to be a problem, and throughout the country.
Yeah. Well, you know, as we're taping this, there's a lot of concern right now about the avian bird flu. And I know there's a lot of things we don't quite know or understand about what's happening right now. But can you give us some tips about the best way to keep yourself safe and your pets, especially cats, right?
Sure. So yeah, the avian influenza, H5N1, has been circulating for a while now, over a year, and it keeps expanding. And we've been seeing the movement of that. I think most people have heard about on dairy cattle and other cattle that the virus has moved into those animals, but now we're seeing it in pet animals, particularly cats. And unfortunately, it seems to be very virulent in cats. And most of the cats that have so far been reported as infected have ended up dying. And it's just really heartbreaking to think of that. The most common way so far that we're aware of that cats have become infected is when they've been fed a raw beef or poultry pet food or raw milk. Both the meat and the milk had been infected with the virus, and then that's how the cats got it. Other sources and ways that the cats could get infected would be potentially if they were to be playing, as cats like to do, they're very curious creatures, with a sick or injured bird that was on the ground, could be a source of infection. So right now, the best guidance that we have is for people to keep their cats indoors and to move away from feeding raw milk and raw pet foods at this time until we have more information.
Got it. And if people see an injured or sick bird, they should call animal control.
They should call animal control. Don't handle it, certainly not with your bare hands, but call animal control.
Got it. Thank you. And we'll be updating people as more information comes out as well. Somebody's listening to us. I love it. So, in the past year, you've had the chance to help a lot of FAAS animals, and you've saved a lot of them. Any stories particularly touch your heart you want to share with us?
Sure. I have two in particular that have really touched me. One was Toto 2, and Toto was featured at our gala. She was a senior pet that came into us, and she had an obvious tumor on her front arm. It was about the size of a little bit smaller than a tennis ball, and very concerning for cancer, which it ended up being. And it was unfortunate that we had to amputate her limb, but it did give us an opportunity in doing that to completely remove the cancer. We were able to look beforehand with ultrasound and her blood work. We didn't see any metastasis of cancer anywhere, also with x-rays of her lungs. But she was because she's now in a forever home is why I say was. She's just a delightful little dog. She's full of energy, full of love. And to be able to help her to cure her, hopefully, of this disease forever, and to see her then get into a forever home is just super exciting.
I remember Toto too. We all fell in love with her.
Yeah.
We really did.
Yeah. And then another was Leroy, who came in through situations where in the summer we took in quite a number of cats. Just a delightful kitty cat, but he had terrible ear infection. And we were able to work with a partner, one of the local vet clinics in town, and they put him under anesthesia and were able to remove a polyp from his ear. And he just had pus beforehand coming out of his ear, dripping down the side of his face. And once they were able to get that removed, it all cleared up. And again, he got adopted into a forever home, and he's just a wonderful cat to be able to do something that, though it took some coordination with our partners, just got him to a point where he can really live a good life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we have the Starfish Fund,
Yes.
which is made possible because of donations of all of our supporters.
Yep.
And it helps pay for this extraordinary medical care that's not cheap.
Not cheap.
But these are animals that have a lovely life ahead of them, and we can do it.
Yeah, especially when it's something where we can basically cure them of a problem. That's just amazing.
Great. Last question.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to people that are looking to adopt a shelter pet?
Looking to adopt a shelter pet, well, a lot of it is similar to anybody who's looking on wherever they're getting their pet. Think about your lifestyle. How do you want that pet to fit in? If you're somebody that is super active and likes to hike and do things like that, you're looking for a more high energy pet. If you're somebody where that's not really your lifestyle, yeah, you like to walk around the block, then maybe a lower energy pet. So think about what your lifestyle is and how the pet needs to fit into that. And a little bit going to what we were talking about with the cost of veterinary care, I would say think about the cost of veterinary care. Look into pet insurance. That's something, there's all different kinds of companies out there now. So do your research, but that's something that can make having your pet much more financially feasible. And then just get ready for the love.
Yeah, lots of love.
Lots of love.
Okay, spoiler alert, we're going to be introducing a new pet insurance program.
Oh.
So, yeah, right?
That's exciting.
So all of our adopters will get a free month of pet insurance automatically.
That's great.
We can test it out. So more information is coming very soon.
That's fantastic. Glad to hear it.
You're surprised.
I am, but I'm thrilled.
That's a good surprise.
It's great.
This is anything else people you want to share with our audience before we take off?
Just to say thank you and come to the shelter and adopt your forever friend.
Great. Dr. Mills, we're thrilled to have you and thank you. It's a pleasure working with you every day.
Thanks, Sean.
Cool. And remember, if it's Friday, it's Meet the Peeps.